Trump, Governor Abbott, Texas Republicans, well, they know that they're headed toward a loss of the Congress in 2026. They're afraid, and they should be. Because when you try to tear health care away from veterans and seniors, from children and people with disabilities, when you raise tariff taxes on groceries and beer and automobiles, when you let poor and working class families go hungry, when you allow smokestack industries to pollute the air and remove safety standards from food producers, well, all so that you can give a massive tax break to Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Bill Ackman, well, frankly, you'd better watch out. You're going to lose your elections. So they've decided that the only way to save themselves is to cheat, to change the rules in the middle of the game. And what do MAGA Republicans in Texas do when Donald Trump ignores, well, his oath of office and theirs, and when they're taking it upon themselves to thwart the will of the American people? Well, they say, when Donald Trump calls, they say, "Yes, sir. Right away, sir. Happy to lick your boot, sir." When Donald Trump says jump, Greg Abbott and Ken Paxton say, "How high?" They don't care that they're violating the Voting Rights Act and racially gerrymandering their state. Well, they're hoping they can rob the bank and get away before anyone notices. Texas Republicans are trying to diminish the voting power of their own constituents, and in doing so, diminish the rights of Illinoisans and all Americans. Texas House Democrats are putting their lives on hold and their livelihoods at risk because they don't want to live in a country where the president rigs elections for his side. That's not democracy. That's not America.
He has asked Greg Abbott and the Republicans who serve in this legislature to find him 5 congressional seats. And thick as thieves, they work on this right now in broad daylight before our eyes. And that is what has brought you and me here today, to fight back. But I ask you to think about this, because we have fought back before, and in the times that we have fought back, we have not always won. So what if, instead of just resisting, or reacting, or responding, or fighting back, we fight forward? We go from defense to offense. In every single county in Texas, in every state in the union, what if, instead of awaiting the punch thrown by the other side, we throw the punch first, harder than they could ever throw? What does that look like? It means that when these brave state-led Democrats leave this state to deny their colleagues a quorum, we have their back each and every day, no matter how long it takes, no matter how expensive it is, until we win the fight. It means that in states where Democrats have control, like California, like Minnesota, like New Jersey, like Illinois, like New York, we redistrict now for Democratic advantage instead of waiting for Republicans in Texas to do it to us first. And then this, the last point. If they should succeed in this process of members of Congress choosing their own voters here in the state of Texas, we must be ready to win. And not only must we win these 5 newly gerrymandered seats, but we must win the old Republican seats that they were trying to defend in the first place. Are you with me? Yeah! Are we together? Yeah! Let's show this country what it looks like to stand, to fight, and to win. Thank you, Texas.
They're not screwing around. We cannot afford to screw around either. We have got to fight fire with fire. And I'll close on that point. What more evidence do you need in the state of California in the last just 6 months? Warrantless raids all across this state. Conditioning, threatening to condition disaster aid on the basis of politics, not on the basis of principles and the needs of people. We've seen these illegal tariffs take shape and impact this state disproportionately more than any other state. All of this is on the line. And so that's why we're here drawing not just new lines, but standing firm and trying to hold the line on democracy, our freedoms, our liberties, things that we can no longer take for granted.
Things have changed. Facts have changed. So we must change. I think it's in the spirit of, Lincoln's infamous second inaugural. We have to disenthrall ourselves so we can save this country. We've got to think anew. We've got to act anew. Things have changed. We're reacting to that change. They've triggered this response, and we're not going to roll over. And we're going to fight fire with fire. But we're going to do so not just punching with the weight of the fourth largest economy, the most populous state in our union, the size of 21 state populations combined, but we also will punch above our weight in terms of the impact of what we're doing. And I think that should be absorbed by those in the Texas delegation. Whatever they are doing will be neutered here in the state of California. And they will pay that price. And we believe public opinion is with our approach. And I appreciate the growing recognition in other states of other governors of like mind and the people of this country recognizing what's at stake. These folks don't play by the rules. If they can't win playing the game with the existing set of rules, they'll change the rules. That's what Donald Trump has done. He's dialing for seats. Familiar because he dialed for votes in the last election. Here's someone who tried to break this country, tried to light democracy on fire on January 6th. He recognizes he's going to lose in the midterms, and we have the opportunity to de facto end the Trump presidency in less than 18 months.
So here's perhaps one of the greatest leadership lessons there is, that real leaders don't lecture you on how great they are. They remind you how great we are and how great we can be together. Real leaders don't spend all their time pointing fingers of blame. They remind us that we share collective responsibility to make things better. Real leaders don't stand up and say, only I can lead you, follow me. Real leaders remind us that we are the leaders that we need. We are a nation that's great not because of someone who held the Oval Office. We have had great ones. But we are here because of all those leaders who reminded us of our responsibility, our capability, who reminded us that the power of the people is greater than the people in power. They were labor leaders. They were suffrage leaders. They were civil rights leaders who didn't just speak truth to power. They spoke truth to us. This is a moment that we need real leadership to remind us that this is our nation, that we can heal, that we can help, and most of all, in times like this, that we must all lead out of the darkness.
But it's not a normal American government anymore. You got to get that out of your head, guys. It's not a normal American government anymore. This has been a hostile takeover of your government, and it's been a hostile takeover of the processes and the respect for the government. You could hate George W. Bush. He's an institutionalist. He followed the government. You could hate Richard Nixon, institutionalist. Pick the president. Donald Trump is an anti-institutionalist. He wants to annihilate the system, and he's got a list of things that he wants to do to annihilate the system. He wrote it all down for you. Go read it. What are we doing? Are we going to really sit here and pretend that this is not happening to the country? But I can't do that. I'm not doing that. And I know the guy, and I know what he's capable of, and I know the team around him. So I'll speak out. And if it gives you the courage to speak out, please speak out. Get on the phone and call your congressman or woman. What the hell are you doing? What are you doing? This system has worked. It's one of the most prosperous countries, if not the most prosperous country in the world. We don't want to wreck the system. He doesn't have a mandate to wreck the system. He won by 300,000 votes.
It's time for the Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time. Oh yeah. The Trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream. It's gonna of your life. Gonna talk some shit, hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well, yeah, it's the Trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth, he's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for. Trucker John.
All right, I think it's on now. I think we're good. Are we good? Testing, testing. Can you guys hear me? Can everybody hear me? Let's see. I think it's on now. Yeah, there we go. All righty. Are we good? All right. Good morning, everybody, on this Wednesday morning, August 6th, 11:21 a.m. Pacific time zone. It's already freaking 103 degrees. We're supposed to hit 110 today here in Las Vegas, in case you're coming into town. I don't know. Welcome, everybody. Good to see you. I'm not able to scroll all the way to the top where the chat first began, but I do believe I saw Sandy Foltz, number one. I think Robert, number two. Robert from San Diego away. Number two, and then after that, I'm not sure. Might have been Jen. But anyhow, here's where I'm able to start up. It says William, or maybe it was William, because here's William. It says, hello, Trucker John, and everyone else. Yeah, I think William was three. Jim's Base says, Trucker John, I figured I'd find you here. Sandy Folt's crushing it in at number one spot. Hello, William. I don't know why I have a little raspiness going on or something. Elizabeth Fernandez is here. Hello, Elizabeth. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Bonnie Thompson's here. Hopefully still here. Alton Gillespie says, from deep in the heart of Texas, howdy, Trucker John, and all fellow truckers. Hello there, Alton. Good to see you. Thanks for dropping on in. Bonnie Thompson's power is out, apparently. That sucks. That's never fun. Hope that gets solved ASAP. Caleb Guillory says, hey, rebels. Are we rebels? I live here in Vegas, which is the home of, are they the Running Rebels? No, that was a nickname. I guess they're just the Rebels. UNLV, University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Rebels. Some people see that as being a bit problematic type of imagery there, but whatever. Caleb Guillory says, put them on defense. They have nothing to stand on but quicksand. I think referring to the Republicans. Roxanne Epstein's here. Hey, Roxanne, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Bonnie Thompson says, get him, Gavin. Yeah, I think, we'll see how it plays out, but he's definitely positioning himself for the White House. Caleb Guillory, Newsom, Buttigieg, 28. And I think we're a little premature in putting tickets together. Let's just first of all, let's get to the midterms. And let's secure that and hopefully kick ass there. And then then after that, we'll start thinking about primary. Let's just see who comes out on top in the primaries before we even start putting these tickets together. But I understand. It's a fun, exciting thing to do, Terry C's here. Hey, Kerry, good to see you. Mad Mac, Slava Ukraini. Mad Mac. Good to see Mad Mac in the chat. Nick Rich is here. 56 Nick Rich. Like number 18. Hey, loungers. Yeah, we got 22 watching, 25 thumbs ups. So we are operating as good Democrats because we're operating at a surplus. So that's good. That's always good. But I wish we had a few more folks in here to hang out with us. Diamond Dog, the big dog's here. Hey, Diamond Dog, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Thanks for coming on down. Let's see who else we got in here. Bonnie Tops, the power will be restored at 5:30, so 3 hours. 3 hours. I hope all your food doesn't rot. Keep your refrigerator door closed as much as possible. Roxanne, gonna be a good time. Ooh, yeah, that song sounds familiar. What song is that from? Sounds like a good one. Believe it or not, I'm sitting here as the thing's playing and I'm singing along to it. So I have a feeling that Roxanne and I are both singing along together at the same time, or something like that. Genevieve Nick Rich Trump is a trifecta. He's a traitor, a pedophile, and a convicted felon. Man, there's something going on with making me cough. Game Dog 220. I think I'm only 5 minutes behind you. Mad Max Rapist 2. Don't forget that one. Yeah. He's a quadfecta. Roxanne Epstein, Trucker John Livestream is the best stream you've ever seen. Do. Mad Max past the duchy to the left. To the left. 11:21. I'm 4 minutes behind you. Catherine, Real Health Talks here. Hey, good to see Catherine. Hello there. Come on in. Make yourself comfortable in the old driver's lounge. Nick Rich skipping along in about 10 minutes. What's that mean? What's that mean? What's that mean? Are you leaving us in 10 minutes, Nick Rich? I meant me. Got a long list of things to do before dinner. Okay. Do your list. Catherine Real Health Talk says Republicans need to be called out at every opportunity. Republicans condone rape and child rape and abuse. They condone it. Nobody is willing to say it. Damon Dog, the big dog, coming in with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. Yippee to Damon Dog. Says 1 of 5. Yippee. Thank you so much. Give you a thumbs up and a heart. I do appreciate the support there. William says Texas Paul had a good live stream today. I didn't watch that today, but I did watch a short, and these shorts are getting longer, right? I think you can do up to a 3-minute short now, and he did a 3-minute one, I think, yesterday. It was pretty good, pretty emotional, just being sick and tired of the Republicans' bullshit, not having it anymore, so yeah, I like Texas. I like old Texas Paul. Mad Matt GOP guard our pedophiles. Gin up the base with a 420. I wonder what that's all about. Super chat. Thank you, Gin up the base. Yippee. Going out to Gin up the base. Also, thumbs up and a heart. Says, Hadel, Snow, Ferragamo, Jackie Slater, Boo Rams. You just named 4 of the greatest players ever. I detect a little jealousy there. Meg Matt heard a good one today. Knucklehead. I don't know why. I don't know what's going on, but I got this thing making me cough. Catherine Real Hot says bomb threat at Illinois hotel where Texas Democrat members have been. Oh boy. They shouldn't have. They should have been more careful with not letting people know where they were at. Roxanne Epstein, Jump the Base. I have no idea who they are. Nice gifting. Oh, I'm mid-thread. I'm already mid-thread on stuff. I don't know what that was about. AM says, hello, my fellow loungers. Hoping you are having a great day. And you as well, AM. Hope you're having a great day. as best as possible in these times of not only uncertainty, but just really just the typical Trump kind of really depressive times, you know. Let's see here. Sandy Foltz is here. Okay, hey Sandy, good. Hi, she says hi TJ. Well, hi back at you. I did see that you were first in the chat. Belfast Bombs here, all the way from Belfast, I guess. Hello TJ, hello folks, all the way from Ireland. Hello Belfast Bob, good to see you. Thanks for popping on in. Barney Thompson still wish the Tick Prime series had gotten more seasons. Oh, the Tick. I think I watched that. I think I did. I think it was like one series. Was it only like one season or two seasons? I think I did watch it. I thought it was pretty good, if I recall. I just can't remember exactly everything about it. But Roxanne MC and Kinkle, Kinkle. Oh, Kinkle Tits. Kinkle Tits is another great nickname. The LHIP chicks came up with. Who are they? Who are the LHIP? Or is it IHIP chicks? I don't know who they are. IHIP chicks. That's a good one, I guess. Catherine Hilltop says Pritzker was on Colbert last night and said they were at a nice Illinois hotel. Pritzker is decent, but that was dumb. I suspect a leaker. Yeah. See there? Pritzker, keep it bums a word, man. Notorious GRG with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you. Yippee! Going out to Notorious GRG. Stop by to say hi. I haven't seen you in a while, so thanks for stopping in. I hope you could hang out for a bit in the old driver's lounge. Say hi to everybody. There's Christina Weibel. Hey, Christina, good to see you. Glad you're here. Jim Bass says, Trucker John jealousy. I don't follow 49ers own the Rams ass for not decades. Maybe 1 decade. Ran them out. LA came to think of it. Something out of California. No, you're just dreaming. The only reason they left California is because Georgia Frontiera was a dumb fucking idiot. I was going to say other words, but some of the women in the chat don't like some of the words I was going to say. But I hate Georgia Frontier to this day, and I hope, well, whatever. She's dead, and I don't give a fuck now. That's the only reason. There was no reason for her to move. The Rams were successful. The Rams were selling out their games, had plenty of attendance, plenty of everything. Then they moved to Anaheim and all this shit. It was all bullshit. Georgia was horrible. I believe that she had her husband killed. I really do. The man who was an avid swimmer swam at the beach all the time in the ocean, was standing in about 2 feet of water, mysteriously was pulled under and drowned. I believe that those were, she hired some like scuba divers to go in and grab him by the feet and drag him into the water and drown him. I believe that. You might think I'm crazy. I fucking wholeheartedly believe that. I believe she had her, and I can say this because she's dead. You can't defame the dead, right? So I believe, and I've always believed this wholeheartedly, that she had her husband murdered just so she could take over the team and then move it to St. Louis because she's a C-word and a murderer. But as far as owning the Rams for decades, that's horseshit. There's about maybe 1 decade that you could say that. I'm not going to deny it. You guys had some great teams. Bill Walsh, great coach. Joe Montana, the whole thing. Great teams. I don't deny that. See, I'm a big enough man. I'm able to say, admit that other teams have great teams. I don't like the Niners. I don't like the Cowboys. I don't like the Raiders. they've had some great fucking teams over the years. Those Jimmy Johnson teams, with Troy Aikman and that bunch down there, they had a pretty good run. That doesn't mean I'm a Cowboys fan, but I'm also not going to really shit on them for that. The Raiders, I've never really liked the Raiders, and I don't really like the Raiders fan base. A lot of those people are assholes. And I never liked Al Davis. I thought he was a slimy, sleazy scumbag. But they had some great fucking teams, man. Those John Madden teams, that era, fucking great teams, fun to watch. And same with the Niners. I'm not a Niners fan, but they had some great teams, great runs. They're still a really good organization. But I don't shit talk them like you do, like you shit talk my Rams, just because you're just a jealous little fucking. It's like you're just a jealous little. Well, okay, I'm going to stop before I say something I regret. See, I'm the bigger man here. I'm the bigger man because you don't know how to put things in proper perspective, like I do. Christian Weibel, Texas Paul was on fire today. He's always on fire. I think he's always on fire. Someone throw some water on that man before he burns up. Luck Dragon's here. Hey, Luck Dragon, good to see you. Marty Thompson says, I love those IHIP women. I don't even know who you're talking about, IHIP women. Is it the 21st? I don't know. Is that the 21st century severance? I don't know how you get IHIP out of 21st century. So I don't know. Maybe is it a different one? Is it a different bunch of women? Are there other women? Oh boy, I just lost half my audience probably. Catherine Real Talk says having root beer float. Cheers. Oh, nice. I like a root beer float every now and then. Yeah, I like a good root beer float made with real root beer, like A&W, type of deal. In a frosted mug. Dan B's here all the way from Florida. Says, hi all, just able to chat late, overheard a bomb threat. Apparently, yeah, that was where the Texas Democrats are holding up. They found out and I guess they did a bomb threat. Roxanne, I'm seeing IHIP pronounced IHIP. It's a live stream called I've Had It Podcast. Oh, I never heard of that one. They post clips all the time. The two ladies are hilarious. And you know what? I wonder if I've watched them because I remember watching videos with these two ladies, like two blonde ladies that talk on Instagram. And maybe that's them. And I just didn't know it. Sandy Foltz, I'm going to a concert tonight. I'll have fun, Sandy. Hope you enjoy your concert there. Catherine Real Hot Talk says, thank you, TJ. Well, you're very welcome. I guess Nick is heading out because Christina says, ciao, Nick Rich. So, ciao, Nick Rich. Get your stuff done. Jennifer Bay says, Trucker John, didn't Georgia Frontier murder? I am behind in the chat. But I did, so I've already covered that. Yes, she did. That's why I hate her. I hate her guts. And I went through the whole thing. Catherine Real Health Talk, Dan B. bomb threat at Illinois hotel where Texas Democrat members had been. Mr. Bob Newell's here. I can't hear you. Hello, Mr. Bob Newell. Christina Weibel, Texas Dems are in Massachusetts now. I guess they had to flee Illinois. Hopefully they won't get found out there. But, it's always going to leak. People are always going to find out where they're at, and it's always going to leak. So they just got to be careful. William Eagles. Yeah, Eagles, great. They've had some great teams. I'm not an Eagles fan, but they've had some great runs, great teams. Packers. I'm not a Packers fan, but I'm man enough to admit that they've had some great teams. They've dominated the Rams a few times here and there. Big fucking deal. That doesn't mean I'm not going to be a Rams fan. Mr. Rob Newell, how's the coffee? It's not bad. Not bad. Drinking out of my Pilot coffee mug here. Reminds me of my days of being on the road. Mad Mac, I've been a Red Devil fan since the 60s. Manchester United Football Club. Real football is around. Those are soccer balls. Debbie, and real ice cream, yeah. Don't forget the real ice cream part. Look, Dragon, I'm a Raiders fan, and and it's true, I am an asshole. Well, there you go. See, even admitted it. Genovese, Trucker John, the greatest show on turf, got hosed by the cheating Patriots. Yeah, well, they were cheating. They are cheaters. That's a fact. Belichick filmed Rams walkthrough. I know. What the Patriots are the worst. My Rams compliment. Oh, you're welcome. Well, yeah. I hate the Patriots. I hate Belichick. I hate Tom Brady. There, and they cheated. They cheated. We all know they cheated. That's the only way they could beat the Rams. I think they cheated both times. I think they cheated when they played them a few years ago, too, because they were saying there were drones flying around the Rams practice field and stuff. I think that was Belichick over there with his drones. Mr. Bob Newell, the Steelers won the most Super Bowls. They won 4. Has anybody else won 4? Yeah, I think somebody else has won 4. Patriots have won more than 4, didn't they? I think they got passed up. Roxanne says 10 years. Look, the cheating Patriots, by the way. Roxanne Epstein, 10 years ago when I was watching, I like Washington, saw a bunch of live games, and now I'm gonna start watching again with Jen, but not that I like the NFL. They piss me off. I just watch because I like football, and I know there's a lot of politics involved. I know there's a lot of things about this and that and the other, whatever. I just like football because I'm an old football player, and it's just kind of in my blood. Sandy Phillips, the Buffalo Bills are the best team of them all. The LA Rams really suck. Sandy, how dare you? How dare you? You can like the Bills all you want, and the Bills have had some really good teams. Josh Allen, great quarterback. But to say that the Rams really suck, that's not right. That's not even true. The Rams are one of the top teams in the NFL. You don't have to like the Rams. You can say I hate the Rams, but to say that they suck, that's being very disingenuous. Roxanne says yes, they are the 2 blonde ladies. Oh, okay, so I have seen them. I just didn't know they were called iHip or whatever. Because they just pop up on Instagram, and I'm like, wow, these ladies are smart and funny and making some valid points and saying stuff that I would say. So I like them. Belfast Bob, 100%. Mad Mac, I live 3 streets away from George Best and still live close so surrounded by Red Devils most of my life. Oh yeah, so you're another soccer fan, right? Luck Dragon, name a team that deserves to be bigger assholes than the debacle the Raiders have put us through the past 50 years. I just think they're assholes because I don't think all Raiders fans are assholes, but I think a big part of their fan base are a bunch of assholes. I think a lot of them are just a bunch of gangbangers, and I don't really like gangbangers. Don't come after me, gangbangers. I'm an old 64-year-old man, so that would be no feather to stick in your cap if you kick my ass. Okay, just don't want to put that out there. But it would be like big deal. You beat up an old man, but they're they have this gang mentality that they I think they were going after that demographic. And I think Al Davis was a slimy sleazeball, as slimy and sleazy as they get. I couldn't stand the guy. I could never stand that guy. But I like John Madden, and I did like a lot of the players. I liked Howie Long. I thought he was a great fucking defensive tackle or defensive end, and because they kind of put him either way. But I just don't like the team. I'm not a Raiders fan. Although, like I said, now that I'm living here and the Raiders are here, I do find myself kind of following them a little bit and kind of rooting for them a little bit, especially when they play the Chiefs or the Broncos and stuff like that. Because, like I said, I don't give a shit about those teams. You know, Sonny Foles, the best quarterback that the Bills, I guess, Bills have is my man Josh Allen. Yeah, well, I agree. He's a great quarterback. Great, one of the best in the league right now. No doubt about it. I would say he's probably at least top 3 in the league. Jim Bay says, I love Dragon, yes, but you aren't supposed to be an asshole to everyone else, just each other. Barney Thompson's hungry. Got some canned potatoes, kidney beans, and black beans. Guess I could create a meal with those. Let's see. Potatoes, kidney beans, black beans. Yeah, just cook them up, fry them up, boil them up, do something, put a lot of sauce in there, like hot sauce and stuff. I don't know. Damon Dog, I used to be an Atlanta Falcons fan, switched to Panthers when they started. Belfast Bob, you'd be calling Maltesers malt balls next. I'm not even sure what that's about. I don't know what a Malteser is. You guys are getting deep into the woods here about soccer stuff, I think, because Mad Max is so sorry about Diego Jota and his brother. I don't know. Is that a soccer thing? I don't really follow soccer all that much. I mean, you know, it's a great cardio workout, I'm sure. Bring the orange slices for afterwards, but you know, I don't really follow soccer all that much. Jim's basic Trucker John Steelers have won 6. Patriots 6, 49ers. Thank you for the update. Rams 2. Yeah, and they were cheated out of 2. The Patriots should have probably 2 fewer than they have, and the Rams should have 2 more than they have. Roxanne Epstein, I hated that NFL started changing the rules. That's why I stopped watching, but football is my favorite sport to watch. I think they've made some good rule changes, for safety. They're trying to address like the CTE issues. Yeah, I know. Some of the rule changes can be a little frustrating, though. David Dog says, I saw your AI video, Trucker John. Pretty cool how they can do that with a photo. Yeah, but it was kind of weird, like, because I just put in there, like, show me making a tackle, and then it gets up, and then when I turn, it changes my number to number 13, and I'm not number 13. And then it kind of does a weird tackle, which that might be kind of accurate. This kind of lame tackle. That might have been the most accurate part of it. But yeah, it was kind of fun just messing around with that AI stuff. Although, like when the photo changes and it starts moving, it doesn't really look like me. But I was just playing around with it. I'll probably have to get better at making better descriptions instead of just one sentence. I should probably make like a paragraph, be more descriptive or something. Christina Weil, Cheesehead here. Like I said, Packers, great organization, has some great teams. I'm not really a Packers fan. I don't really, I don't really like them, but I'm not going to really talk shit about them, Catherine Real Hot Talk, I stopped watching football after Bears won 1986 against the Patriots. Wow, you've been out of it for a long time. Guess you might as well just stop while you're ahead, because I don't think they've done anything since then. You said gangbang. I said gangbangers. which could be different. Things. Roxanne says Commander Skins. That's what I'm going to call them. At this point, I'm going to be a player fan once I see what's going on this season, since I know I'll be watching San Francisco now too. I don't know players anymore. Yeah, well, you will if you're going to watch. You'll start picking it up. Commander Skins. That's funny. I like that one. I just thought they should have been called the Commandos, and then everyone's like, "Well, that means you're not wearing any underwear." No, it doesn't. Just because you took it that way doesn't mean that's what it means. Just because your mind is in the gutter doesn't mean that's what it means. Commando could mean a soldier, like a front line infantryman or whatever. Commando. It's okay. Don't just because you want to take it to some weird way doesn't mean that should not be used. I should be able to say the word commando without everyone going, "Oh my God, that means you're not wearing any underwear." Grow up, people. Grow up a little bit. Genevieve says, "Heads up, gangbangers" in the chat. Okay, you do know what a gangbanger is. It's not necessarily. Okay, I know, Jen. Your head went right to a room where a bunch of guys are screwing one woman or something. That's where your head went to. Gangbangers are also gang members who beat people up and shit and commit crimes. They call things double meanings for a reason. That means that there's at least two meanings, and the primary meaning is not to be forgotten, or. William says Eagle fans don't fuck around. Well, Eagles fans can be fucking a bit psychopathic. If you're chucking batteries at people, that's psychopath. That's psychopathy. That's psychotic. Mr. Bob Kenny Stabler, he's playing in heaven. Heaven. Dion Payne's here. Dion says Section 8, 9, and 10 of the U.S. Constitution have been removed from the official government website. So tick-tock on the clock. It's our choice as to how this ends. Tick-tock, motherfucker. Yeah. I told you. Donald Trump hates the Constitution. I've been saying that for how long now? How long now have I been saying that? Probably years at this point. Says Look Dragon, all I have to do is take you to an old school Raiders parking lot in Oakland, California to change your mind that they are gangbangers. It is by far the best tailgate party ever, hands down. I've never gone to a tailgate party. I've only seen it on TV and stuff. So, I'm hoping they are fun places to be where you can hang out and you can barbecue, drink a few brewskis before you go into the game, and everyone has a good time and camaraderie all around, and everyone is just hugging and cheering, and it's just all pure happiness. That's what I'm hoping for. Mr. Bob Newell, which hot sauce is better, Frank's or Crystal? I've never heard of Crystal, I don't think. So I guess it has to go to Frank's. Mad Max says, "Damn, Bestie was the reason I started following Manu." Okay, I'm not going to read it because I can't relate to any of the soccer talk. Sorry guys, I have to skip soccer talk. Roxanne Epstein, tailgating is so much fun, almost as fun as hanging out at music festivals. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right there. It's about having fun. Sandy Full says, on Tuesday and Thursday, it would be better to have your show on at 11 a.m. your time. 9 a.m. is too early. Should we just do 11 a.m.s across the board every day? 11 a.m. Is 9 a.m. too early? Let's do an informal poll because I don't have a way of making a poll. That didn't sound right. So talk about secondary meetings. But yeah, do you guys agree with Sandy or not? Let me know. Let me know. I'm interested to see if anyone else feels that way. Look, Dragon, I've been to so many tailgate parties where we didn't even enter the Coliseum until halftime. That explains a lot. That explains a lot. Mr. Bundle, is it 420? It might be 420 somewhere. I don't know. Look, Dragon, I've been to more Grateful Dead concerts where I never entered the Coliseum. Two? I don't know why you use those question marks like that. Anyhow, Ben Mack, a Liverpool soccer club player was killed in a car crash over the summer. Oh, that's horrible. Diogo was a top-notch player for Portugal national squad and Liverpool Premier League. Very good player. Well, that of course I don't mean to joke about that. That is horrible and sad. Sonny Folds, Patrick Mahomes of the KC Chiefs he's a cheater and a crybaby. I don't know if he's cheated, Sandy. I know. Being a Bills fan, you being a Bills fan, I can understand the animosity towards the Chiefs and Mahomes. I don't think they cheated though. I think it's pretty clear cut. We know that Belichick and Tom Brady were cheaters. Everyone knows that. That's pretty clear cut. That's pretty irrefutable. But I don't think I haven't heard anything about Mahomes or cheating. And as far as being a crybaby, I really haven't. I haven't noticed him being a crybaby about anything. I don't know. I'm not a Chiefs fan. Just want you to know, I'm not a Chiefs fan. I'm not a Bills fan either. And I think Josh Allen is a great quarterback, and I think Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback. You got two great quarterbacks that have been meeting each other in these playoff games and having really a hell of a. It's unfortunate that your team, I think, has lost more of them, but I really don't think there was any cheating going on. I've never heard of any cheating going on, but we all know it's very well documented about Tom Brady cheating and Belichick cheating. Roxanne says, Sandy Folds, is TJ changing his times? I need to know that. No, she asked me to change the time, Roxanne. She was asking me to change it. Look, Dragon says, when they moved back from Los Angeles, we actually used to stay in the parking lot the whole time and watch the game on the big screen TV. Danby, exactly. That is what the commando means. It doesn't mean the other. Right. One's a actual thing and one's like a slang thing. But people will say, don't name them that because, of the slang thing. I think it's better than commanders because commanders, because that just makes me think of Handmaid's Tale, and it makes me think that the ownership, well, it's probably very telling of who they are and who they relate to. Mad Mac, that wound me up so tightly to see that asshole put himself into what has always been a celebration for the team and not, about Trump, yeah. Then that stills the medal and takes the real trophy. Yeah, it's just another reason to hate Trump, and I think a very valid one. Tim Farrell's here. Hey, hi, gang, he says, and hi back at you, Tim. Tim Farrell, the Farrell one. Belfast Bag, Bob is talking to Mad Mac about more soccer stuff. I just sort of, skip over it because I just can't relate to it. Nothing against you guys. You guys that like soccer, that's fine. That's awesome. It's great to have a hobby like that. But I just don't share any passion for it, or even just a passing interest in it. So I just have to skip over it. Although I did like what was that stupid show? The Ted guy. I did like that show, although it did kind of jump the shark. I think after like season 2 or something. But it was a good show because the characters were funny and that kind of stuff. And it was a good fish out of water type of thing. So. General says, Trucker John, I know what a gangbanger is, and it doesn't involve a bunch of dudes banging one nice lady. It was surmising that we have Bloods and Crips in the chat. Why are you snapping at me today? Oh, you're so sensitive, Jen. You're so sensitive. Roxanne, give Jen a virtual hug. I think he needs a virtual hug. He's so sensitive. Damon Dog says, Andrea said something about the White House website moving parts of the Constitution. I need to check that out. Yeah, someone else mentioned it, and I said that, yeah, because Donald Trump hates the Constitution. He hates it. Creamy does it. Says bomb threats like during the elections. Who's going to investigate stuff like this now that they're corrupt? Well, I don't think there is corruption and stuff. I don't know if it's 100% corrupt. You know what I mean? I feel like hardly anything's coming out, and it's open all the way. But they've been like the bomb threats during the elections. I think they did investigate that, and they did find out that those were being called in from Russia, right? Those bomb threats, they did investigate that. If that's what you're talking about, I mean, some of it. Now the new one, yeah, they'll probably investigate it, and they'll probably find out it was coming from Greg Abbott's office or something. I don't know. Let's see. We'll see what happens. Dan B says, everyone should have known since he ran the first time he hated this country and our Constitution. He doesn't abide by any laws or rules. Should tell you right there. He's just a one evil piece of shit. Talking about Donald J. Trump. That's right, folks. Dan B said it, and I agree. Donald Trump is a piece of shit. Sandy Foltz, Oakland A's are the best team ever. Sandy, you are cracking me up today. You're cracking me up. You can like the A's. I don't know. They've had some great teams. They've had some great runs, No doubt, going back to the Reggie Jackson, Vita Blue days, Best baseball team? I don't know about that. But you can certainly like them, and it is pretty subjective though. Oh, in Gillespie in Texas, we put Franks in our babies' bottles. Belfast Bob TJ, you saw Pele play, and George Best, you'd have played. I remember Pele. I just remember the whole Pele spectacle. I guess it was a really big deal because I guess Pele at the time had been the world's most famous soccer player, and then he came to America to play. This is like what, in the late 70s or something. And so I remember there was a whole big lots of news coverage and sports coverage, and he was all over every magazine and all the shows, all the talk shows and everything. I remember that, but I may have seen some highlights. I'm pretty sure I probably saw some Sports Center highlights of Pele playing. That's about it. Luck Dragon says, if the Oakland A's weren't the baseball team, then I would have to cut off my tattoo, and don't believe in that pussy laser shit they use to remove tattoos. I think, don't they have a thing you can rub on and takes off tattoos also? Mr. Bubno, have you been to Knoxville? I've driven through there. Sandy Foltz, that would be better of your show being on 11. Well, it might be better for you, Sandy. I'm just wondering about everybody else. And so far, no one has really answered the question if they think I should come on at 11 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, as opposed to 9 a.m. Pacific time. Roxanne says, no, TJ, 9 a.m. is not too early. It starts my day off properly and doesn't interfere with Hal. If you move it, you'll interfere with Hal, won't you? No, because on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Hal comes on at 3 p.m. If I started at 11 my time, I would be done by around 1. The only thing it would do, I think, is that it would put me on the same time, maybe as the Terror shows and Boston Brian, but I'm not. Well, no, I don't know. He's on Wednesday. I can't keep up with other people's schedules. I know Hal's pretty well, but other than that, I can't keep everybody's schedules straight in my head. But so yeah, but to answer the question, no. Sunny Foltz, is now 2:55 in Niagara Falls, so I am 12 minutes behind. Look, Dragon says, not only am I loyal to Barry teams? I don't know. That doesn't sound right. But my father used to be a photographer for the Raiders, and that's kind of what got me hooked. Hooked? That's kind of what got me hooked. I don't know. You tell me. Sandy Foltz, KC gets their way every time. Well, that just sounds like a Buffalo fan that's got a little bit of sour grapes going on there. Roxanne saying, gin up the base. Exactly. TJ, do not change your times, please. Okay, so now I guess we got 1 for and 1 against. Belfast Bob, it's 19:57 p.m. in Ireland. So 7:57, you're about, I guess, 7 hours ahead. Look, Dragon, that's one of my earliest memories of meeting Jim Otto in a locker room and just freaking out when he grabbed my hand and went halfway up my entire arm. Arm? Did it? Sunday folks, you should be a Bills fan. If I grew up in upstate New York, I probably would be. But I grew up in the LA media market area. I grew up in Southern California, but out in the desert, probably close to 100 miles away from the Coliseum at the time, the LA Coliseum, where they played in the 60s. But all the LA teams became my favorite teams because that's the media market that I was in. That's who I watched. And when we did venture down to LA to see a game, it would be an LA game. It would be a Dodgers game or a Rams game or a Lakers game. So that's who I rooted for. Those became my favorite teams. And it just sticks because I don't really believe in changing teams unless there's a really, really good reason to do it. But I don't think you should just change teams on a whim. In other words, like I know people that they will basically just be their favorite team will be whoever won the last Super Bowl or whoever won the last World Series. And all of a sudden you see them in all this gear, this new gear from whoever. And I'm like, dude, what happened to the other team? Nah, they suck. I really can't stand people like that. And I'm not like that. Like I said, I've been a Rams fan and a Dodgers fan and a Lakers fan since the 60s. When I do watch hockey, I'm not really into hockey. I was always a Kings fan. But now since I moved here, and since I don't really follow hockey all that much, I would say that I kind of root for these guys a little bit more. But I don't really follow hockey all that much. Hockey's kind of like soccer on skates. No, hockey's cool. I've gone to a couple of hockey games, and they're actually pretty fun. Bonnie Thompson, it's funny as hell. I can comment the dumbest crap and people breeze right past it. Sorry, Bonnie, if I breezed over. Sometimes I just kind of skip over stuff because I don't want to be 55 minutes behind in the chat, and I may have skipped some of your best material, and I apologize. I apologize for that. Belfast Bob, TJ, is football not soccer? I must insist. It's football. No, in America, it's soccer. When I'm on American ground, it's soccer. If I go to some other country and they call it football, I'll call it football, I guess. Mad Mac, Tom Brady says Tom Brady cannot play the American football game without cheating. He had to deflate the ball so he could hold it in his teeny Trump hands. Cheater deflate game. I agree, Mad Mac. I agree wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly. Roxanne says, Jim, you need a virtual hug. You sensitive today, baby. Give him a virtual hug, Roxanne, because I don't think you guys are actually in the same place, right? You're still far apart, so give him a virtual hug. Make it all feel better. Sammy Carter's here. Sorry, hello. Sorry I'm late. That's okay, Sammy. Just glad you're here. Like my daddy always said, better late than never. And he didn't say it with any type of a twang, but I don't know why I always add that. Sandy Foles says, Jen, TJ does not, I guess, need to be yelling or shouting at us viewers that always supports the show. I'm not shouting at anyone. I'm not. Now, it might seem like it because my AC kicks on, and I do find myself speaking louder to get over the AC, even though you guys can't hear the AC because the mic's not picking it up. But I'm not like shouting in anger or anything like that. Maybe a little bit at Jen, but that's about it. Catherine Real Health Talk says Agent Orange hates America and loves taking advantage of it. Yeah, he likes all the goodies he can get out of it. But other than that, whatever money he can get out of it, that's all he sees America as is just his personal little cash cow. Chris Doug says the penalty for swatting should be 5 to 15 years in prison. It can get someone killed. And I think it has, actually. Hey, Chris Doug, though. Thanks for being here. Good to see you in the driver's lounge. And I agree. It should be taken very seriously. And I think it has gotten some people killed. I think there are, verified accounts of it. Mad Max says bomb threats to all those predominantly blue voting areas were emailed to each site, so Russia had every email address for those sites. Like I said, yeah, those bomb threats were all traced back to Russia, I believe. So you can't convince me that Russia had nothing to do with trying to influence the 2025 campaign, let alone the 2016. We all know that they did that. Chris Doug says, I saw Pele play for the New York Cosmos. Yeah, I guess that's what it was. He came to play for the New York Cosmos. And it was a really big deal because he was on every talk show, every gossip magazine, or every headline, every, all over the place. Lug Dragon says, I still think Washington should have changed their name to the Filibusters. Just saying? The Washington Filibusters. Yeah, that would have been a good one. Something kind of appropriate to the area, Look, Dragon says, the reason I use so many question marks is because I am very good at grammar and they are appropriately placed. I don't think so. You have to be asking a question, don't you? Don't you? And sometimes I don't think you're asking a question. Chris Doug Paley was a Cosmos 75 to 77. See, I said late 70s. I think that qualifies, mid to late 70s. Doug Dragon, just saying. Sammy Carter now says it's 8:06 in London. I guess it's about 6 hours difference. Chris Doug 306 in New York City. New York City. Mad Mac, why are you saying it's Pule? I always heard everyone pronounce it as Pele. How do you get Pule out of an E, the letter E? Anyhow, whatever. Mad Max says he came to North American Soccer League to play for the New York Cosmos, along with stars from many other countries. This was the league I played in back in the mid '70s. Oh, awesome! So Mad Max, you played in the league. You actually played that. That's cool. That's pretty cool. I will not deny that coolness. That's cool. I'm not a soccer fan, but I think that's cool. I still think it's cool. Dan B says there's an active shooter in Georgia on Army base. Great. What is going on now? What is going on, man? Belfast Bob, so is American football like our rugby? No. No. They're nothing alike. I mean, there are some. I was watching rugby during the Olympics last summer, and I thought it was pretty cool. It looked like a fun game. It looked really fun. I enjoyed watching it, but it's nothing like football. I mean, it's completely different, other than the fact that there are people that are running the ball like a running back, kind of like. But can we just admit that these are different games? Soccer is different than football, and football is different than rugby, and rugby is different than soccer, and field hockey is different. I mean, these are all different games that might have certain little some similarities here and there, but they're all different. Chris Doug says gridiron is nothing like rugby league. Bonnie Thompson, America electing Trump twice proves humans weren't ready for the internet. That is a funny one. And I didn't skip over it. So. Chris Doug, so many penalties in the NFL now. The game is compromised by crooked officials. Do you have anything to back that up? Or is that just a vague sort of, just something you threw out there? I think there are some bad calls that get made. I don't think it has anything to do with being crooked or bought off. And not that I'm the naive little country boy or whatever. Yeah, there are people that could be bought off. There could be stuff like that happens. I don't think it's widespread. I don't think it's. If I felt that way, I wouldn't watch the game. I wouldn't be able to watch the games like I do. So, can it happen? Has it happened? Yeah, sure, probably. I don't think it's widespread. I think most of the stuff we see are just bad. If there's a bad call, I think it's just that as a bad call. I don't think it's because the ref was paid off or something. I don't think it's really, that common of a thing. Centerfold says, House Sparks show sucks. It's really not worth watching. Why do you people want to waste their time watching a stupid show like House Sparks? Well, I think it's a very good show. I enjoy the show. I've been watching him for years now. I don't know, 5 years or something. I don't know. Have you actually watched the show, Sandy? I mean, have you actually watched it? You're entitled to like who you like and not like who you don't want to like. That's you're entitled to your opinion. That's fine. But I'm just curious as how much have you actually watched of the show in order to come away with that opinion like that? Because I think he's pretty good. Brings up a lot of important issues, and I think has a lot of interesting things to say about those issues. But yeah, you can like whoever you want, but just just know that a lot of people in this chat are probably House Sparks fans, and would disagree strongly with what you said there. But like I said, everyone's entitled to their opinions. You can like who you want to like and dislike who you want to dislike. Lug Dragon Trucker John is smug. Are you just doing like the Tucker Carlson thing? Like, I'm just asking questions here. I'm just asking questions. Steven Sayers, I just like all pro sports teams. Well, there you go. Steven Sayers. Hey, Steve. Good to see you, by the way. Barney Thompson, stop being a bitch. Well, I'm sorry. Sometimes I'm a little bitchy, all right? Sometimes I am. Just the way it is. I'm sorry if I'm being a bitch today. Belfast Bob, no, that's an unwritten no. You support the team you first supported. Right, unless you have a really, really good reason to drop them. Which I did. I think I did. When the Rams moved from LA to St. Louis, I had a really good. I think that was a good reason for me to drop the Rams. And I tried because I was so pissed off. I tried to follow the Chargers. I couldn't follow the Raiders. I could never be a Raiders or a Niners fan. I think Arizona was in Arizona by then. The Cardinals. I couldn't get into the Cardinals. I kind of like the Chargers. I always kind of liked the Chargers, so I tried to follow them a little bit, but I just kept finding myself always searching out the Rams in the sports page, or on Sports Center or whatever, and I always kept going back to the Rams. I just couldn't help myself, and so finally, after 2 or 3 seasons of me always kind of looking what the Rams do, and even though I was trying to, I kind of was out of favor with the Rams, I guess. And then finally I just said, fuck it. And this is when the Rams were horrible. This is when they were winning only like 1 or 2 games a season. They went through like a 10-year stretch there where they were, before the Greatest Show on Turf, they were horrible. They were definitely the floor mats of the division and of the league. And then finally, like I say, probably like 2 seasons later after they had left, and I kept trying to find other teams. I just couldn't get interested in any other team. And I was just like, okay, I guess I'm just a Rams fan, no matter what. I guess it's just going to be the Rams. So then I just started following the Rams, and even though for the next 6 or 7 years or whatever, 5 or 6 years, however long it was, they were still shitty. And they were in St. Louis. which is like 1,400 miles away or whatever from where I live. I was like, I'm a Rams fan, man. I tried, and I think I was completely justified in trying to find another team to be my favorite team, since they up and left. And it's not like that's not like San Diego where they just moved 90 miles north. They moved fucking halfway across the country, changed their colors and everything. And but I just, after a couple of years, I'm like, well, I guess I'm just going to be a Rams fan, because I just can't get into any other team. There's no other team that I care to follow, And so I stuck with them, and we got back together. We worked things out. We got back together, and it's been rocky. There's been some ups and downs, but that's how relationships work. That's how they go, and we worked through it, and we're still together to this day. Yeah, me and the Rams. So we're still together. Going on 50 plus years. So yeah, probably 55 years. Probably close to 60 years that we've been together. Sandy Folds, Buffalo Sabres is the hockey team. Sam Carter says hi to Sandy Folds. Sandy Folds says Niagara University is best basketball team in the whole entire world. No. Look, Dragon, I grew up a Lakers fan in the Bay Area my whole life, but after Kobe and Shaq split up, I switched my loyalty to the Warriors, and now I hate the Lakers for some reason. And now I hate the Lakers for some reason. Oh yeah, LeBron. See, you're one of those ones that switch teams. You just switch teams because, Kobe and Shaq left, so my Miles will not like them anymore. Sandy Folds, Jim Kelly was a real good player for he's a great quarterback. Guy had a cannon for an arm. Chris Doug says, so now Vance is saying he is not hosting a strategy meeting to deal with the Trump-Epstein debacle. What happened? I guess he got the memo, finally, from Trump. Look, Dragon, don't get it twisted. Okay? I've always been a Warriors fan, but I love the Lakers. The whole Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Kobe Bryant to this day is still my favorite player, and I absolutely respect Michael. That's some pretty grammar. It's a nice run-on sentence, but no period at the end. But you're very good at grammar. Steven Sayers says pro sports teams owners are not in it for the love of the sport; they're in it for the money. Yeah, well, it is. That's what the pro part means in pro sports. The pro part is the money part. Now, I do believe that there should be a healthy mix. I'm not saying that there is, or that there always is, or that there always isn't. But I think there should be kind of a healthy mix of, since it is professional sports, so it should be about making money, both for the ownership and for the players. They're the ones that people are putting the butts in the seats for, is to see the players, not to see the owners. So there's the aspect that it's about making money, but it should also be about loving the game. There should be a good, healthy mix from not only the players, but from the owners as well. Now, whether or not that's the case, not the case, you know, who knows? I don't know. And I mean, uh, who knows what the percentage of that is or how that breaks down? But there should be, and I'm not saying there is or isn't or whatever it is, but I think that since it is professional sports, it shouldn't just be all about the money, all just money, money, money. There should be a healthy mix in there of about money and love of the game. And the closer to, I think the closer to 50-50 you can get, the better. I'm not saying it is 50-50. I'm just saying the closer you can get those to being even, the better. Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth. Dan B, well, he already reaped billions, talking about Trump, I believe. Yes, and like I said, he doesn't love the country. He loves the money that the country has for him to squeeze out and put in his pockets. Roxanne Epstein says, no, TJ, Jen and I live across the country from, well, that's what I kind of said. Across from each other. That's why I said you need to give him a virtual hug. Anyhow, live across the country from each other until less than 90 hours away. He'll be in Florida from Portland, extremely far. I'm headed to Portland soon, too. I already like it better in Florida. I mean, you don't like the gloomy, rainy, overcast all the time Portland over the nice, bright, sunny, and humid Florida? Jeff DeBase says, Bonnie Thompson, right? What did I do? Here I am just supporting TJ and the chat. I'm putting recruiting videos together for him, and he just snaps at me. I did not snap. By the way, I did not snap. And your so-called recruiting videos, well, those are okay. I saw them. They're nice. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. But I didn't snap at you. I'm just looking. Something was coming on my TV there. Democracy Now! Just came on. I didn't snap at you. I just said you're very sensitive today, and that Roxanne should give you a virtual hug because you're so sensitive. And I'm not shouting. Now that my AC shut off, I can see how loud my voice is, but I have to do it because I guess I need to hear myself or something. I don't know. Come on, Jen up the bass. You know I'm just messing around. Look, Dragon says for the first, starting a sentence off with lower cap, great grammar. For the first 16 years of my life, the only Warriors game I would go see in Oakland was if they were playing the Lakers. Laughing out loud. See, that's not a question. That sounds more like a statement to me. Anyhow, whatever. Steven says, Starlink fixed the election. There are accusations and speculation about that. I would like to see some concrete evidence. And Bonnie Thompson kind of echoing my what I just said. Says Stephen Sayers, explain to us all how Starlink fixed the election. Aaron West is here. Hey, Aaron, good to see you. Have we been going this whole time without any mods? I don't think I saw Jolie here either. Thanks, Aaron, for getting here. I know got busy and got a lot of things to do, so I appreciate whatever time you can spend with us. I appreciate. Gris Doug, considering the current status of our government, the Redskins should be called the Dodo Birds. Yeah, they're not called the Redskins anymore. Anywho, Steve Zare says Musk owns Starlink and had to help his buddy. Now I know he did say things like, "If Trump loses, I'm going to prison," and all that kind of stuff. But we need something hardcore, something irrefutable, evidence-wise. Phonetically, Mad Mac, phonetically, Paule is how his name is pronounced. Paule. Well, then how come every single show I saw during the 70s, they would say Pele? Even on Sports Center, they say, I guess they said it wrong. I guess they were wrong, and they should have been corrected immediately so that putzes like me didn't go through the rest of my life saying Pele. Roxanne Epstein says Stephen Curry is adorable. I've never watched him play, but I would if asked to. Laughing emoji. Bonnie Thompson says Steven Sayers, seriously, explain it. Now, Sandy, I was not shouting at anyone. It was all cap. That word was all caps, so I emphasized the word. Okay, so I wasn't shouting at someone necessarily. All right. Dan B says some of Epstein's victims and Glory, I think it's Gloria, by the way, but I kind of like that, Gloria Allred, that's kind of good too, are holding a live press conference right now. Wow. Wait, should I try to get that on the news? Well, I can't multitask like that. Look, Dragon says, starting off with lowercase, no, you can use a question mark if you're wondering if you are correct. It doesn't have to be in the form of a question. Okay, all right. All right, Tucker Carlson. That's the Tucker Carlson method of doing interviews, I think. Mr. Spock's here, live long and prosper. Says, I like Australian rules football. It appears to have no rules. Belfast Bell, okay, agreed. Totally different. I'm behind in the chat because you guys are answering stuff that I remember saying or talking about a long time ago. Sammy Carter says we have a huge anti-Trump protest 17th to the 19th September for Diaper Don's unprecedented second state visit. Trump blimp back, plus some other treats to humiliate him. Can't wait. I can't wait either. I hope you humiliate the shit out of him. Catherine Real Help Talk says rugby, you can get your bones broken. Soccer in America is just called football in Europe. See there? Football. See? It's not football, it's football. Chris Doug, Edson Arontes do Nascimento, a.k.a. Holiday, born 10/23/40 in Três Caracos, Brazil. Didn't he pass away though? I think he's passed away, hasn't he? Also, I think. Pretty sure he passed away. Aaron, sorry I was late. Stuck in a meeting. That's fine. Perfectly fine. Just like my daddy always said, better late than never. Without the southern kind of twang I put on it. Just glad to have you here. Whatever time we can get you for. Stephen Sater says, I'm from America. Oh, I'm from American education system, and that's about as good as I can do. Hey, Bonnie Thompson, why wouldn't Musk use Starlink somehow to rig? You can ask the questions. We all have questions. It would be nice if we can get some solid answers. I think that's what Bonnie wants. We've heard the questions. Now we want the answers. And the answers have to be backed up with facts. Here's Lug Dragon, starting off with lowercase. Mr. Grammar here, starting off with lowercase. You can also use a question mark if you are talking in opinion. Again, period, and starting off another sentence with lowercase letter. The use of the question mark is to initiate a response which does not necessarily have to be a debate. See, that doesn't work for me. The use of the question mark is to initiate a response which does not necessarily have to be a debate. That, to me, is not the proper use of the question mark, in that you're making a statement. You're making a declarative statement. You're not asking a question. Or at least you're overusing it in that way. If to use it when you are trying to initiate a response, which does not necessarily have a debate. To do it like you were doing it, almost every sentence, every comment, I think that's definitely an overuse, and it should probably be used sparingly. If I were your English teacher, I would probably write a little note that this should probably be used sparingly in that way. Chris Doug says Paulé passed from colon cancer December 2022, so just about 3 years ago. So rest in peace, Paulé. Although I prefer Pele, but I think Pele sounds better than Paulé. It's easier to say Pele. Anyhow, rest in peace. Lug Dragon. Damn, I'm good. Lug Dragon, no debate. First of all, learn how to spell damn. Now, I'm not trying to be a grammar Nazi, because I do realize that posting, in a chat, like that, these are not term papers you guys are turning in. This is not any official document or anything that has to be, double spaced and have footnotes and all that kind of shit. I realize that, but it was Love Dragon that said that they're really good at grammar and knows how to use question mark or whatever. So anyhow, Bonnie Thompson says, "I'm serious, damn it. How did a satellite change coding in a voting machine from space?" That's Stephen Sayers. I'm serious too, Bonnie. I want to know. I want to see the evidence. I want to see the evidence. If there's evidence out there, by all means, let's get it out there. And if it shows, if it's irrefutable, good, hard evidence, and it shows that Starlink was flipping votes or changing votes or whatever, I'll be the first one to put it front and center on my show every fucking day. Let me see the hardcore, irrefutable evidence. Big Hook, the Big Canuck says, Take off to the great white north, all you hosers, and don't eat yellow snow. Thanks, Big Hook, for being here. Appreciate you coming on in, as per always. Janet Bay says, Trucker John, Trump's caddies used to refer to him as Pele because he kept kicking the ball out of the woods and back to the fairway. Now that's funny. That's funny. That's a funny story, Janet Bay. That's a good one. I'm just looking over at my TV. I should not have my TV playing while I'm doing the show. I'm going to shut it off because it does distract me every now and then. Amy Goodwin was interviewing someone there. I guess Nicole's on. Okay, I'm going to put Nicole's show on. She's talking to Allison Gill. I'm going to give Nicole a thumbs up. Thumbs up for Nicole. 162. She's got 162 watching. I only have 33. Come on, guys. I love Nicole Sandler. She's got Allison Gill. I love Allison Gill, too. If I had Allison Gill on my show, would I get 132 viewers, maybe? Inquiring minds want to know. Mad Max says, Elmo did rig the voting tabulation machines. There is no absolute way in the last few hours of voting. The Kamala did not get even one vote. It's a fact. Well, you know what? There's going to be a court proceeding on September 25th, I believe, in upstate New York. I've talked about this before. Let's keep an eye on it. I don't know if they're bringing up this issue about Starlink or not. I'm not exactly sure. But, yeah, we can speculate the hell out of it, Mad Mac. We can speculate the hell out of it. And we can say this doesn't make sense, this doesn't make sense. And I agree. And I'm not saying I disagree. But what I am saying is, for anything to be actually done about it, question mark, we need, there shouldn't have been a question mark there. We need that hardcore fucking evidence. We can't do anything on speculation. You know, we can't convict Elon Musk on speculation. We need evidence. That's what I'm saying. And I'm sorry if it sounded like I was shouting, but AC just shut off, so I realize I sound loud. because when the AC kicks on, my voice goes up. But I'm not shouting at anyone. I'm just speaking loud because the AC was on. Robert Perez from down San Diego way. Welcome back, Robert. For coming in the chat. Says, yo, Trucker John, how long before we hear about police officers taking bribes over traffic tickets? Over traffic tickets? I don't know. I didn't even think about that. Aaron West says, I got an email late last night that my birth certificate is on the way. Should be here today or tomorrow. Oh, great. Awesome. That's good news, Aaron. So finally, I guess you're trying to get your real ID, I think, and all that stuff. So, all right. Congratulations. I'm glad seems like that's getting cleared up. Mr. Spock, I think something happened to Ficus. Someone should file a missing person report. It might have to do with Hal's board or whatever, and maybe he's not set up to do that stuff anymore right now because it might crash his system or something. I don't know. I don't know. Look, Dragon says, here's my honest opinion. I could probably be doing 1,000 more productive things at this exact moment at 12:23, but I chose TJ. Thank you, Luck Dragon. So yeah, I'm crazy. Thank you for choosing me. And it's 12:46. So what am I? I'm 23 minutes behind you. So, but thank you from the past. I'm coming from the past to thank you now, I guess. Robert Perez, Johnny, are you telling me you weren't a proud LA Raider fan when they won the first ever Super Bowl in LA? No, I wasn't, because I think I was probably, I don't know, what was I, 4 or 5 years old? I don't think I even watched the Super Bowl then. I do remember, I do have very early remembrance of watching. I think I just mainly those early Raiders and Packers ones were always like on highlight reels. I think the first Super Bowl I ever actually sat down and watched might have been I don't even know. Gosh. It might not have been until like the Dolphins and Redskins or whatever. You gotta remember, I was really young and things were a lot different then. The Super Bowl wasn't as big of a deal back then as it is now. I mean, they even cut the AFC Championship game. They left that game to play Heidi, the movie Heidi on TV, because the game, I guess, was going into overtime or it was running long, and they're like, we're cutting away now for regularly scheduled programming, and I think that was a championship game. That's how little, I guess, impact or sway that the NFL had at that time, back in those days. I don't think I really started getting into Super Bowls until the Dolphins era, really. Or maybe just slightly before that, like a year or two before that. Duck Dragon, this guy completely reminds me of my uncle. I know, does he? That is why, for some reason, I guess I missed my uncle? I don't know, is it? And is this guy me? Am I the guy that reminds you of your uncle? Squirrel Girl's here. Hey, Squirrel Girl. I'm late to TJ party, but saying hi to all. Like I said, better late, like my daddy always told me, better late than never. Thank you, Squirrel Girl, for being here. I appreciate whatever moments, minutes, seconds that you will spend here on my channel, in my chat, and saying hello and chatting. Whatever time you spend with us, I greatly appreciate, because I know you guys all have a million other things you could be doing. So I appreciate you being here. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share. We are 34 watch and 48 thumbs up, so we have a pretty good surplus, like the good Democrats that we are. Make sure you share the show. We're trying to get to 4,000. I think I need to get like 90 more. Now things have slowed down. I remember there was a time when I used to get about 30 new subs a month, about one a day. Now it seems like the last 4 or 5 months, it's been like one a month. It went like completely opposite. I don't know what's going on. But let's get us to 4,000 if you guys want to see me eat that dandelion. Sandy Fold says everyone needs to decide if the show should change time from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. And so far we've had, I think we are at 1 vote for and one vote against. If you can put a poll on, I on my device, I'm not able to do a poll. I don't know if Aaron can do it, but I can't do it. It'd be nice if we could make a poll about like if I should change the time on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 a.m. Pacific time to 11 a.m. Pacific time. But on my iPad, it won't let me do that for some reason. Big Hook, live long and prosper, Mr. Spock, because it is purely logical and it's better than one of your chickens running around with its head cut off. Good to see you, my fellow East Coast Canuck. Chris Doug says Vance wants Trump unalive so badly it makes his mouth salivate. He wants to get that big president money. He's already a billionaire, so I guess it's not about money. It's about power and satisfying the ego, I guess, at this point. For someone like J.D. Vance. Because I got to tell you, if I was a billionaire, sorry to say, guys, you probably would never hear from me ever again. I mean, I wouldn't be thinking about politics. I wouldn't be thinking about, I would be on a fucking yacht, just going to all the fucking cool spots along the world. I would probably be like one of those rich douchebags that owns a yacht and has like beautiful women in bikinis all around him. Even though I'm, 150 years old, I could almost assuredly, I could almost be 100% certain that that's what I would be. I would be that dude. I would be the dude with the yacht, with the beautiful girls that are like a third my age in bikinis, probably having sex with them at some point or whatever. I wouldn't be raping them, okay? So let's put that aside. I mean, let's put that I wouldn't be doing that. But if there was one that was like, hey, this dude's got money and maybe I can get some of his money, so I'll fuck him. You know what I mean? I would probably be like, okay, come on. But that's where I would be. That's what I would be if I was a billionaire. I would not be fucking running to be vice president or trying to be president. I would not. Now, J.D. Vance is married. He's got kids. He could be taking his kids on some great vacations, which I guess he does, and he runs around the zoo like a girl. But I don't know why. I don't really know why. I understand why Trump needed to do it, because running for president was what he was hoping would keep him out of prison, and so far that's worked. And he's also made billions of dollars off of being president. He's the only person who's like made billions of dollars while actually being in the White House. I mean, other presidents, they've increased their incomes after they get out, usually with a book deal and a lecture tour, and they become maybe they're worth a few $100,000, or maybe even they're worth a couple million, and then they'll go on to be worth tens of millions of dollars, and so on. And because of inflation and because of interest and all that kind of stuff and investments, I don't know what the Clintons are worth. They're very rich, but they're not. I don't even think they're billionaires. But they do that because they have book deals and lecture deals and movie deals and all that kind of shit. Trump has made his money because he grifts off the American people, and he props up cryptocurrencies, and he bilks the American government for millions and millions of dollars to gouge his. He puts people, like a Secret Service and government people in his properties and gouges the price. So I mean that's what Trump does. But most people I don't know. Unless, I don't know, let's talk about Pritzker from Illinois. I guess he's a billionaire, but I don't think he's a multi-billionaire. But but he's a billionaire. He seems to be a good governor. He's probably going to run for president. And I got to ask why. And why is he doing it? Maybe, but I think he's a good guy. And maybe he says, well, you know what? There's a lot of really prick billionaires that are either in government or they're trying to influence government, like Bezos and Musk. They're, especially Musk, who really got inside government and was really fucked up our country. Maybe Pritzker sees himself as, okay, I got to balance things out. I got to use my power and influence to try to balance this out here, Anyhow, that was a tangent. That was me going off on a tangent. Big Hook, how far behind? I'm like almost a half hour behind, probably. Roxanne Humphrey says, Sandy Foltz, it's not for us to decide. No, the ultimate decision would be up to me, but I would be interested in knowing what other people feel about it, and that might influence my decision as far as starting times go. Luck Dragon, I can't win, guys. He either complains about my grammar or he complains about my non-use of grammar. I'm trying to appease this gentleman, and he sounds exactly like my uncle. I just think it's a very bizarre use of the question mark. You can try to spin it however you want. I don't think it's proper, or at least definitely an overuse in that the way you're using it. Rob Perez, laughing out loud. I am the driver of the fair weathered friend bandwagon bus. Okay, and that the AC shut off, and I noticed I am talking loud when that damn AC comes on. Maybe I should just turn it up a little bit here. So don't come on so often. Sandy Folds, TJ said he needs to know. I would like to know. I'm interested. I'd like to get the feedback on it. Dan B, they were holding a press conference regarding the shooting. Big Hook, I see him not in my current chat record, so I had to ask. Alton Gillespie, I enjoyed baseball until records were being reset often because of steroids. Well, we definitely had a steroid era, going back to Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, and even in Gin of the Base's beloved Barry Bonds. And those guys are never going to get in the Hall of Fame because of it. And I think deservedly so, but they shouldn't. But I think they've cleaned it up, and as far as being like tough on testing and all that kind of stuff. Dan B was a sergeant and never has seen combat. I guess that was the shooter you're talking about in Georgia. Sandy says, you always snap at people. Not always. And I guess it depends on your definition of snap. I don't know. Big Hook 1232 time reference. So I believe I'm 25 minutes behind. 25 minutes, that's all. That's not that long, right? Just a mere 25 minutes. You guys can. It's either that or I just skip all the way to the bottom and I skip everything. So it's up to you. If you guys want me just to skip down to the bottom, and by bottom I mean that would be the most current, I could do that and skip 25 minutes worth of chats that you guys put in here. As it is, I do skip over a few of them just so that I'm not an hour and a half behind. Chris Doug says, if Vance becomes prez, I feel sorry for the White House furniture. Jenna Bay says, Trucker John, a gaslighter would say that I'm too sensitive. The mighty gaslighter. No, gaslighter is when you try to convince someone that they're going crazy over a period of time. Unless you think being sensitive is akin to being crazy. And also, maybe it is. Maybe that is kind of how you could convince someone that they're losing their mind. Like by telling them, oh, you're just being oversensitive. Maybe I am gaslighting. Oh, wait, whatever. Love Dragon says, is it okay to love two teams? Yes. For instance, I love to see the Giants and the Dodgers lose. Why didn't you use a question mark there? But you can love two teams, but I think you can only have one favorite. Like you can only have one, like number one favorite team. There could not be two number ones. You can love two teams, but you're gonna love one more than the other, or at least when it comes to your favorite. You can only have one that is your number one favorite team. There's only one number one, but you can love two teams. I guess it depends on your definition of love. When we're talking about teams, I don't think love of a team is the same as love for an individual person. Dan B, talking about that shooting in Georgia, says the shooting happened at his place of work and he shot his coworkers. They don't have a motive yet. I am so sick and goddamn tired of these goddamn shooters. If you're so pissed off, well, I don't even want to get myself in trouble, but I am so sick of it. I'm so sick of these shooters, man. Dan B says it was a personal handgun, not a service handgun, trying to find out how he got it on base. Someone didn't check everything. They got lackadaisical. They got into a rhythm where this guy came into work every day for year after year after year, and he was cool. They never found anything. He never looked suspicious. They let their guard down. Boom, he brings it in. Or he found some way, to sneak it in. Look, Dragon, is it a question? Because I figured out in my mind that I also saw the Warriors play the Bulls several times in the 80s and 90s with absolutely no punctuation there at all in that whole sentence. By the way, like I said, I'm not a grammar Nazi, but Luck Dragon did bring up the fact or point out that they are very good at grammar, and that they know their shit way more than I do about grammar, and it continuously shows me otherwise. Catherine Real Health Talk at Dan. Talking about the shooter. He was either being harassed or he was already emotionally fragile before going in. My bet. Aaron West, I love college basketball. F the NBA, laughing out loud. I don't really watch basketball anymore. I just don't really. I really don't watch sports all that much, to tell the truth. I like watching football. I make a point to watch football, and I do like the fact that it's pretty much all on Sundays. I know they have Thursday night games and Monday night games, and now they're doing Friday or Saturday night games. But primarily, it's on Sunday. I like it. You just set Sunday aside and watch a bunch of games, make a day of it, get some pizza, get some beer, watch your games all on one day, and then you can be done with it for the week. Pretty much. I mean, I know the other games come on, but I hope they just keep it primarily. I hope it doesn't someday come to the point where there's a game on every night of the week, because then that's just too much. There's a thing called overexposure, and I think, and it can be bad for celebrities. It can be bad for I think leagues and games, and I like the Sunday day being football watching day. Pretty much. Roxanne says, Aaron West, yes, it was actually. Honestly, I felt yours and Jolie's spirit with us. We were rolling with TJ lounging. A little mid-thread, maybe. I don't know exactly what that was about. But yeah, glad to have Aaron here and Jolie whenever she could be here. Jim Base, Alton Gillespie, I understand that sentiment about baseball. I've largely checked out of following baseball as closely as I always did, not because of the record-breaking. The owners knew, so did Selig. I pretty much, I used to watch a lot more baseball than I do now. I don't watch all that much baseball either. But I do like, what I do like, question mark? That wasn't really a question. But I guess that is like when you're, That's that other form you can use it for. What I do like is every night on either MLB or the Dodger channel or the YouTube channel, or there's another one called House of Highlights on YouTube. And whichever one I come across first, every night, or at least every night that they play a game, they will do the highlight. They will do the game, and it's not just highlights. It's pretty much. It's almost like every at bat of every inning, or at least every inning, and at least one pitch to even. It's almost like at least one pitch to every batter. So you're getting almost like the whole game condensed down to like 12 minutes or 15 minutes. I like that. I love that. Not that I don't like watching a whole game, because there is something about watching the actual game from start to finish, just like a football game is like this too. I think where it's like watching a movie. It's like a drama. You know, they start the game and they kind of fill each other out a little bit, and then maybe someone scores, and then they don't score for a while, and then another team catches up, and then there's a battle, and then it's like who's going to hang on, who's going to win. It can be that way for baseball and for football. That's why I love watching sports, because there is that sort of dramatic element. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's a blowout, and sometimes the blowout can be fun, especially if it's your team doing the blowing out. It could be what I call a barn burner, where both teams are just scoring at will, basically, and the league just keeps going back and forth, and it's a high scoring barn burster. What do we call it? Barn burner. Or it could be just a duel, like a defensive duel or a pitcher's duel. I like all the different aspects. So I do enjoy sitting down and watching a game, but I can't watch 162 games, of baseball. That's what I like about football too. And I'm against expanding the season. I think the season's long enough. Now they're at 17. I guess they want to go to 18. I can see going to 18 just to make it an even number or whatever. But then they even talk about going to 20 games. Now, when is it going to stop? 25 games? 30 game season? I mean, these guys are barely keeping their bodies together as it is by the time they get to the playoffs. So I'm against really long, extending the season. But I do like, it's a shorter season in terms of games compared to baseball, which is 162 games. And like I said, on Sunday, I can make that my football day, and where I can just sit and watch games all day and then not worry about it for the rest of the week. Although there is Monday, there is Thursday, there is Saturday. But for baseball, I can't sit and watch a full baseball game every day. So I really like how they have these highlight shows where I can basically watch the entire game condensed down to like 15 minutes. And I feel like I'm getting maybe not the complete dramas and the excitement that when you watch a whole game, but still it's pretty close, All right, so let's skip on down a little bit. Look, Dragon says, holy crap, I got to go. Lost track of time. Goodbye, everybody. And yes, I did use a question mark. All right, you did? You're probably gone already, but thanks, Lug Dragon. I hope to see you come back again tomorrow. Tomorrow? Now I'm doing question marks. Belfast Bob, Mission Box, same here. Cheap and easy, fixed. Then we got the Honda 50 step through, then blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm mid-thread, so, what can I say? I'm mid-thread. Roxanne Epstein, grammar Nazi, right, not term papers. It is Luck's fault. Jim's base is Roxanne Everett, I agree, but that's a confusing pretzel too. The owners signed off on steroids to come back from the strike in '93. Numbers dictate worth. So, of course, players will do it. I would. And if you got caught, then you should be kicked out. You should be banned from the league. If it's against the rules and you do it anyhow and you get caught, you should be kicked out of the league, and you should be banned from being ever admitted into the Hall of Fame, a la Barry Bonds. MJ Daniels here. Hey, MJ from Washington State. There says Alexander Karp. Palantir Technology is one of the billionaires that bought an officer's commission in the U.S. Army and then got a big government contract to spy on Americans for DJT and heritage. Brock Sampson asking if I'm high. No, I'm not high. I'm not high. No. I don't. Why would you even ask that? I mean, what did I do that would make you think I was high? I don't know. I know, but I do know we're at 2 hours already. So I am going to skip down. I'm just going to needle drop. Sandy Foltz saying I snap at viewers. Some people think that's that's when they come here to see who I'm going to snap at. You know, I'm needle dropping. I'm spinning down and needle dropping. Jennifer Bay says Roxanne Alfred. Apparently, many people thought the phrase "stopped at money" is the root. See pedophiles and sex offenders. The love of money is the root of all evil. Robert Perez, I'm talking about the Los Angeles Raiders 84th season with Marcus Allen. That was a good season for them, yeah. Dan B, did you hear what the Nut Flood said in his TH? That the Republicans represent the heart and soul of the middle class? Is this guy serious? Makes me want to barf. Would love to see Nebraska go blue. I guess that's what that is. Well, you know, I did see that clip where they were booing that one representative and people were pissed off and they made some very good points. Belfast Bob, I'm just now getting to Belfast Bob sent 5 trucker gift memberships. Thank you, Belfast Bob. You get a yippee. Yippee. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you. Helping us help support the show, get us to grow. Looks like Saris got one. Mackenzie Carter Cameron got one. Dennis Koch got one. Tamara Chance and Jenny Loves Cats. So hopefully those folks will come on in and say hi. Garen says I can't do a poll. Okay. So far we're tied 1-1. And not that the poll would means anything as far as like I would go one way or the other depending on the poll. But I am just kind of interested in the feedback on it. But Belfast Bob, 4,000. Here we come. Thank you, Belfast Bob. Hopefully that'll help us get there. Hopefully those folks, because just because you send them the membership, it doesn't mean that they subscribe. So hopefully they'll come in and subscribe. I'm just skipping down here, guys, because I'm going to be ending the show pretty soon. VD Hertz is here. Hey, VD Hertz, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. I only like sailboats. Oh, this is going back when I was talking about the yacht, I think. And if I was a billionaire, I would have the biggest, fanciest yacht, and I would just have beautiful young girls. And by young girls, I don't mean, underage girls. And in bikinis. And even if I didn't have sex with them, I'd be enjoying the scenery. Janet-based Trucker John Bonds never tested positive. TJ White, Slanderberry Bonds. Talk about jealousy. Sad. Why not? Talk about MMA hypocrisy. And David Ortiz, confirmed steroid user, elected to the Hall of Fame. Okay, so yeah, that should not have happened either. Then, if he was confirmed steroid user, then he should have been ousted also. But everyone knows Barry Bonds was using performing enhancing drugs, PhDs. Everyone knows it. I don't give a fuck if he, was never tested. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. And if you deny it, then that means you are living in denial. You're living in denial. The debug is here. It says it's hard to do the business of the presidency when you're always in this legal quagmire. Hopefully he gets out soon. I guess talking about Trump. He's only going to get out by dying or by just terming out. Unless in the 2026 midterms, we can take back the House, take back the Senate, get the numbers we need to adequately get the the votes that we need to impeach his ass and remove his ass from office. Impeach and remove, not just impeach, but impeach and remove. We need like super majorities in the Senate. I think we just need a simple majority in the House to start the impeachment, and then the Senate will try him and vote. And so I think we need a super majority there. And so the midterms are in 2026. They don't take office until January of 2027. So the earliest that we could get Trump out, if we impeach his ass, is going to be in early 2027. So either he's going to die, or he's going to get impeached and removed, and that would be 2027, or he finishes his term out in what would be January of 2029. Those are the only three things that I can think of that could happen. Dan B says it seems that the shooter, talking about the shooter in Georgia, I believe it was Georgia, had an alcohol issue. He had a DUI and kept it from the Army as long as he could. There is more that is going to come out. And I think it's really sad that he would take his frustrations out and shooting innocent people. It's horrible. I'm skipping down, guys, since we're well over 2 hours, and I need to get going pretty soon here. Catherine, real health talk. Money is not the root of all evil. It's how people get it that is evil. That's people. But if they're quoting the Bible, it says the love of money is the root of all evil. It doesn't say money is the root of all evil. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. MJ Daniel, as a Seattle fan, I still boo the Raiders, Chiefs, and Broncos, even though we are not in the same division anymore. Yeah. That hatred runs deep. VD Hurt says there used to be an aura around NYC when the Mets and Yankees didn't play each other unless they both made it to the World Series. All that is gone. I lost interest. And I'm skipping down, and I think I'm at the bottom of the chat now. Big Hook says Republican logic. I just voted for the guy who was going to take away my health care, my SNAP benefits, my Social Security, put my parents out of the nursing home and on the street in democracy, MAGA. And somehow Trump will just blame that on Obama, and most of them will believe that or something, MJ Daniel walks in Alfred. We loved yelling at John Elway in the Kingdom and still have a couple of Bronco Buster and Raider Hater t-shirts in a box. VD Hurt says RFK Jr. today banned vaccines that work, mRNA vaccines. What the fuck? What the fuck is right? But it's mind-boggling. It's fucking mind-boggling, Hey, the Soul Crab's here. Been listening while writing some snare parts for high school. MJ Daniel, greed is something. Pretty hurts. I don't think I like any pro team owner. Roxanne Epstein says, OTJ, I was definitely high in that exchange. My bad, hon. Oh. I haven't been high since I got high on my live stream. Other than some gummies I took last year, I guess. But that doesn't really feel like a high. It just made me have a good night's sleep. Empty Daniel says, even when these morons are over DJT, they will find somebody just as bad. Voting for the R in front of the name is all that matters. I really hope that more of them will have learned the lesson and stop voting for Republicans. I know not all of them will, probably not even the majority of them will, but maybe just enough will peel away to make a difference, a good difference, a positive difference. I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping. Roxanne, let's get high on the live stream. Well, if I get to 5,000, I'm supposed to do shrooms. Although, I'm not sure if that will get me kicked off of YouTube or not. I don't know. Or at least temporarily or whatever. I don't know if that would get me in trouble if we did shrooms live on a live stream. But I don't know. But that, at 5,000, that was sort of what we were talking about. Or not sort of, that is what we were talking about. All right, guys. I guess we're going to end it here. Thanks so much. We had 3 out of 5 on the goal, the chat goal. So thanks for you folks. Let me just go back to the fan funding here. We had Damon Dog with the $4.99 super stickers. Yippee to Damon Dog. Jen at the base, 420 super chat. Thank you so much, Jen at the base. Yippee to you. Even with your snarky thing about booing Rams. Notorious GRG, $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much to Notorious GRG. Yippee to Notorious GRG. And we have Belfast Bob with gifting 5 Trucker John gift memberships. Belfast Bob, all the way from Ireland. Yippee to you. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you guys helping us out. And I appreciate every single one of you who just come in here and you give me a thumbs up and you subscribe and you chat. That's all equally as important, and I appreciate you for hanging out with me. You could have watched Nicole Sandler. You could have watched, who knows, anyone, a lot of people, but you were in here watching me and hanging out and putting up with my shit and my shouting, putting up with my shouting and my snapping, and I appreciate you guys for doing that. I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is Thursday, so we'll do a 9 a.m. show tomorrow right here on the Trucker John channel. Don't miss it. Don't you dare miss it. And I'll see you then. Let's see what else is going on. Tonight's Wednesday. Tonight, I think Liberal Dan's going to be on. I know I think he had a colonoscopy. Was that yesterday? Now, look, I've had a couple of those, and I've never thought that was really that big of a deal. The prep and doing it, it wasn't really that big of a deal as far as like laying you up or whatever. So I think Liberal Dan, I think he's going to be on tonight. He should be on tonight. He should be fine. He had his colonoscopy, I believe, yesterday. So I think he's going to be on tonight. If anyone can back me up on that, maybe Aaron knows because Aaron mods over there. I'm pretty sure. It says Dan's computer is broken, so maybe no Liberal Dan tonight. Well, if Liberal Dan's not on, then my second choice is Boston Brian. And I don't mean to, that's nothing against Boston Brian. I love me some Boston Brian. I think Boston Brian has a great show. But I think Liberal Dan has a better show. So my choice, it's like sometimes when we pick who our favorite football team is or whatever, I mean, there's only one number one. And to me, Liberal Dan is number one. But I love Boston Brian. So you can check out Boston Brian tonight at 5:30 Pacific time. Also, though, look for Liberal Dan. He comes on at 6 o'clock my time, 8 o'clock Central, if he's on, if his computer's fixed. And so that's some programming, some promo, doing a little promo for those guys. And then Hal Sparks will be on. Sandy Foltz is not a fan, apparently. But I think most of us are fans of Hal Sparks. He'll be coming on at about an hour and a half. Oh, no. Well, I don't know. Is he back to, does anyone know, is he back to the 4 p.m.? Oh, today's Wednesday. So he'll be on at 3, yeah. Disregard that. He should be back on at 3 p.m. So about an hour and a half from now, we got Hal Sparks coming on. And so that's it for me for now. See, 007 Kevin Trollslayer comes in. Fancy just wrote a song for you, John. It's on her site. Is it the same one, or because or is there another one? Because I did see the one. I've already watched the one. If there's a second one, then I haven't seen it. But I saw what I believe is the first one. and it was pretty well made. A lot of work she put into that. So, you know, very talented there. Don't Gillespie shouting all good. Big Cook. So you guys will miss my rant tonight if he is not on. Well, then call in maybe to Boston Brian. BD Hertz, I did Cologuard, never had to endoscope up my ass yet. I've done 2, and I probably should do more. I'm supposed to do more, and I'm probably gonna do one this year because I'm overdue. I'm overdue. Debbie says thanks. Debbie says thanks, TJ. Thank you. Did you get your new chair yet? No, I haven't ordered one yet. I still haven't ordered it yet, and so the old chair's hanging in there. So far, I have not collapsed to the floor. Yeah, but we'll see how that goes. All right, so there's the base. Soulcraft, you stay strong, lean. Honestly, you need to. Lots of love. I don't know. I'm kind of mid-thread and stuff, so I don't know what's going on there. Read here's no history of colon cancer. See, I do have a history of it, so that's why I'm supposed to do more of those. So I need to do more. I need to do one this year. Aaron says, "Don't wait till it breaks. We don't need you hurt." But that might be, good for ratings. I don't know. All right, guys, you guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out. Midwestern goodbye, I guess. I'm just trying to think if I'm forgetting anything. I think I've covered everything that I'm supposed to cover as far as like seeing you guys tomorrow and all that good stuff. Like, subscribe, share the show, all that good stuff. Anything I'm forgetting, guys? Am I forgetting anything? I think I got everything covered. All right. Other than the words of wisdom. Are you guys ready for the words of wisdom? Have you guys been writing them down? At this point, we could make a little book out of them, I think. So, anyhow, okay, words of wisdom. Get something to write on, get something to write with. Get your paper and pen, write these down. And here it is. Here's today's words of wisdom. All right, guys? So just remember to always
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes, might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes, but if we did, I'd be only too glad. So hasta la vista, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. All screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid. But doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on Trucker John Livestream. We're gonna do it again John Livestream. Yeah, the Trucker John Livestream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where we win. Right here on the Trucker John Livestream. No, it's time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again.
Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food and movies and bugs, shining a light on all the social issues. No shows, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. In my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free. So you want to take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, you've gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road, it'll make you wish that you were young. But all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for lust. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love. It's all about the thrills, it's about staying in the hunt, it's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road, that's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows. So go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road, just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret, it'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. It's so damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life, everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot, you're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along.